Like, I got a hair fucking trigger, dude. Bullet stores out of bullets don't matter.
Um, give me what I want. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I've known you for long enough. I've dealt with. He does that. It's fine. It's okay.
Oh, that's just Sean.
It's endearing eventually.
Oh, fuck this. Yeah, even when I get what I want, it's just my customary sign off.
All right, fuck
I got
this.
so used to saying it. Say it to my parents, my
you
wife.
can have the book deal. All right, cool. Fuck this. That's how you told Iowa you were coming. You were like, yeah, that's cool. Thanks. Fuck this. Then they were like,
September.
wait, is he coming or is he not coming? Do we need to hold the spot? Like, what's going on here? They held the spot for you, luckily, and you showed up. And I should know because I helped you move there.
You did. And when we finally got to Iowa City, you and my wife sort of teamed up to just make fun of me relentlessly.
I mean, to be fair, we were pretty stoned.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was the sober one and just chauffeuring the two stoned people around.
Me and Becca were giggling so fucking much. I remember being all over that town, just like giggling and being like, it's so fun here, because I was stoned out of my gourd the entire time. I mean, is this what college is like?
When you were there, it was fun. When our friends were in town, it was fun.
And then the harsh winter was like, you're inside for 4 months now, and you were like, really?
Must I? And also, you're gonna wake up cold, which is even worse.
And you're like, fuck this.
Fuck this. Hang up on old man winter. It might not be everybody's way, but I make my own way.
Yeah, and you know what? I respect the hell out of that, to be honest with you.
I apologize for nothing,
You shouldn't. You absolutely shouldn't. I tell everyone, I was like, that's Sean. He is he goes his own way.
Iconoclast.
Yeah, just like Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
You and AB.
Was he the famous cook?
Yes. He was a chef, but then he was like. Then he got famous for writing that book about
being a chef,
and kind of exposing like the seedy underbelly and like of that. But then he got really famous for being like a documentary food guy. But it was more than that. Like, I actually really got attached to Anthony Bourdain in Parts Unknown and the other one. I don't remember what the other one, but the first show he had was called. But basically, he traveled all over the world, ate all this food, hung out with people, fucking got drunk with people, got tattoos, and like, pontificated on like what life is and what it should be. And so like, I really got into Parts Unknown and Anthony Bourdain literally right before he died. So I was like really, and I still to this day hope that I can view the world similarly enough to him when I'm as old as he was before he passed away, because I feel like him traveling so much opened up his perspective to things, and I hope that I'm able to do the same thing. And I haven't even been to most of the United States, right? But like, when I do travel, I am definitely more. I recognize more. The need for me to experience that place, as opposed to being like, cool, I'm in Seattle, I'm going to go get McDonald's.
And then head to the hotel.
Right, because that's not really like, that's not what I'm there for, I can do that at home.
Yeah, but it's at a hotel. You don't have to clean up after yourself.
You don't, and that's really, and don't get me wrong, I definitely am the kind of guy that after the day, I'm like, I want to go get in bed, turn that AC down to 68 because I ain't fucking paying for it. and watch TV and then go to bed. But during the day, I want to go do stuff and I want to be part of the culture. All right, fuck that.
I'm sorry, I was just listening to you.
Anytime there's a lull in the conversation now, I'm just
I also will hang up.
Fuck this. I'm taking after my friend Sean. Fuck this. So yeah, that's that. That's Anthony Bourdain. That's my feelings on him.
Mm-hmm.
I actually may use your HBO Max to watch, spoiler alert, Warner Brothers. I meant my HBO Max that I get free with my AT&T subscription.
Prescription.
I was going to say prescription.
You really need to get AT&T.
He's like, you need some high, you have high blood pressure, so you need to get some of those pills, and you also need to chill the fuck out and watch some Anthony Bourdain. Here's this prescription to HBO Max.
AT&T, which comes with HBO Max. It's like you shouldn't have to worry about whether you're getting a cell phone signal anywhere. All right?
It really does come with it, though. I keep getting text messages that are like, do you remember to sign up for HBO Max? And I was like, oh, okay. And then I forget completely. So maybe I'll do that after this. I'll sign up for it.
Keep using mine. I like knowing that you're using it makes it easier for me to justify the cost every month because it's like, oh, Daryl and Haley also watch it. So like, and my mom watches it too. So that makes it a little easier to justify the $15 a month because it's like a little present I can give to my loved ones.
Also, I'm super excited for the Snyder Cut. I don't know why, because Justice League was not a very good movie, but I'm excited to see what he does with it. And I don't know why, because I didn't really like Man of Steel, and I didn't really like Batman vs. Superman. So
maybe because, I mean, the reason I'm excited for it is even though I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan in general, like there's something about his directing that always seems just a little bit off, at least the way he, actors perform in his movies is a little weird. But at least, even though I didn't really like Man of Steel or Batman versus Superman, like they expressed a vision. It was consistent from movie to movie. Like whether you like that or thought that was appropriate for that type of story is a whole other, can of worms. But that's why I'm excited to see Justice League, because that was supposed to be the capper on his trilogy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Also Darkseid.
Yeah, that instead of Steppenwolf.
Yeah, like I remember the first one because we got a bunch of the we'd had a bunch of I don't know how at the very beginning of quarantine we got really into watching DC movies because we watched all the Marvel movies, right? And we had access to a bunch of the DC movies, and we had gotten a couple more from the library that we couldn't get on any of the streaming services. And my wife and I went through this whole series where we watched them. And then we get to Justice League, and we're watching it with the kids because they wanted to watch it. And as soon as I see Steppenwolf, I was like, oh, this is the big bad? Steppenwolf? I was like, okay, I can understand if Steppenwolf is like the guy at the very beginning of the movie. And then we get to Darkseid, but right. Steppenwolf the whole fucking time?
And
he looks terrible.
So do we know for sure that Steppenwolf was introduced because of the Joss Whedon version of the movie?
I don't know. I think that he was there anyway because I think that Snyder has shared the way he wanted Steppenwolf to look and how he ultimately ended up looking because of Joss. I don't know. DC CGI is you would think that a company that one of the biggest companies in the fucking world would be able to do something better than what they gave us with Steppenwolf, and it is atrocious.
I think it's because it was a rush job.
That might be true too. I guess that's fair.
Because from what I understand, they reshot that movie. From what I've heard, they shot that. One of the actors on the movie said, we've essentially filmed this movie 3 times now. Oh. So there was the version that was already shooting when Batman versus Superman opened. And then Warner Brothers was like, yikes, people aren't reacting to this the way we thought. You need to change direction. So they started making the version that I think is what we're going to see on HBO. And then Zack Snyder's daughter died. She committed suicide. And, there's some talk that maybe he was going to be fired anyway. And this just offered a convenient explanation. I don't know. I hope it wasn't something like that. I mean, I know that his daughter really did die. So and that's when Joss Whedon came in. But it sounds, and have you heard the stuff that Ray Fisher?
I haven't heard I haven't heard like Ray Fisher say anything concrete because he's like, I can't really say anything concrete, but basically he's like, yeah, Joss Whedon sucks. But other people have now come out on like Buffy and like on other like things that he's been involved in and been like, yeah, like that's not entirely false, you know? Like I think people didn't want to like maybe call him out overtly, but I think enough people, like I know the guy who played Spike from Buffy has been like, yeah, like it was kind of tough to work with him sometimes because he had like a very like specific way that like, and this was, I don't necessarily know that this is really what Ray Fisher was talking about, but I did read that the guy who played Spike said that he had a very specific way that he wanted Spike to be as a character. And then when the fans like were like latched onto Spike, because he's a good character, he was really pissed that like fans were like into Spike. He was like, no, this is not how it's supposed to be. And it's like, well, but yeah, you don't really get to like always decide that whenever you're doing something like this, you know? Like I get it from a creator standpoint, you want it to be a certain way, but I think when you have something like that's not a one-off, because Buffy wasn't a one-off, right? Like it was going to be a continuing series. Like
right.
You almost have to like let fan reaction be what it's going to be and then kind of pivot to wherever it goes. I mean, he could have stuck to his guns and been like, no, you're done. You're dead now.
Well, I think the network, from what I read, the WB was like, no, you need to amp up his part because people like him. So I think it wasn't even that he was mad at James Marsters. I think
he
was
wasn't.
He was mad at the network and took it out on James Marsters.
Right, and that's what, like, I've heard. I don't know. Like, what have you heard?
I mean, that's still not good.
I haven't heard, like, I don't know that I've heard it's, like, sex stuff or, like, anything like, I just heard he's, like, a shitty, like, he's shitty to people. Yeah, like, he's, like, shit. He, like, uses, like, his power as the director to be shitty to people, which, like, I don't want to do. Like, anytime I've been in a collaborative thing, like a film or, you know, something like that, like, the moment someone starts getting that way with me, like, I'm like, okay, you can shut that shit down. I mean, that happened to me and you. Like, you weren't, like, shitty to me, don't get me wrong, but, like, you had, like, there was a moment on the set of your movie where I was like, okay, I'm going to do it because it's my best friend, but I'm a little pissed right now. And I don't think it was anything. It was just the day of the shoot was just so stressful. And like,
you were holding a light out in freezing rain so we could get just the right light in the bedroom. And we didn't come tell you when we'd cut.
It was cold that day.
Yeah. And when you came in, you were like, you guys aren't shooting any, like, I think you eventually just came in. You were like, I need a break. And we're like, oh yeah, we haven't been shooting. So like, I was in the wrong and I felt really bad about it.
But I think I was just like, let's just do it. Let's just fucking get it over with.
Yeah, you were like, nope, we're just gonna do it. Which was very nice of you, by the way. That speaks to what a good friend you are, because I would not have blamed you if you'd been like, fuck this, and you know what, fuck this.
I pulled a classic Sean and be like, fuck this.
So what do you think about that as far as, so we have people who, you know, have clearly like sexually assaulted someone, right? And then you've got people who sexually harass people or were actively like, I don't know, you know, in some way almost criminal behavior or what should be criminal behavior.
Right.
And then you've got Whedon, who sounds like kind of an asshole, but like, it doesn't sound like he's done anything illegal that I've heard so far.
That's I haven't heard anything like that.
And so like I don't quite know where to land on it. And it could just be because I'm such a fan, I don't want to let go of those things. You know, I don't want to have to suddenly like, you know, it's not like with
disavow.
Ryan Adams where he's grooming 17-year-olds.
Yeah, fair. And you're like, cool, I can delete that shit off my playlist. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like cancel culture, right? Like, in some ways, like, I don't know. Like, I think that if he cannot creatively collaborate with people in a way that is constructive and good, he shouldn't be doing it. Because as an actor, like, if that were me, I would have told him to fucking eat a bag of dicks and gotten the fuck out of there. Like, that's me personally. Like, right. I don't know. I'm not in a position also to be like in my first big fucking movie, like trying to make it in Hollywood. So the circumstances aren't quite the same, but I try to consider myself a man of principle. So like when I say that, I mean it. Like, I don't let people talk to me that way because
Right.
yeah, I'm just a fucking lowly dude, right? But like I'm still a fucking person, and that doesn't fly with me. And I don't really have a problem. I guess I